Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about God of War, which is a PlayStation 4 game. But before we get to that, it's time for catching up with Ellie and Liam, which is, part of the show that people tolerate.
First part of the show, everyone's favourite part.
It's not everyone's favourite part. That's the film reviews.
Well,
I mean, catching up with used to be everyone's favourite part because the film reviews were lumped into it. But since they've sort of split off into their own majestic beast, now that's everyone's favourite part. And catching up with is like, when you're like eating something that you don't really like, but you know you're going to get a pudding afterwards, so you eat it. And it like,
Sorry, how old are you?
So what have you been up to?
You been partying, Liam. Been a little party girl.
Whoa! In the cocktail dresses?
Nope.
Oh, where have you been
Clothes.
partying?
People's houses.
Okay.
House parties.
Was there like reasons for the parties, or was it just
Friend's birthday? Just a generic party. And one of the family friends is going to Australia for her. What's that year called at uni?
Gap
where
year.
you go and no, because she's doing it through uni and going out to like another university out in Australia.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's got a name, but I can't remember what it is.
It's like a culture swap.
Yeah, she's sort of culture swapping to Australia.
Yeah. No, it has a thing, doesn't it?
It does, but I was trying to remember it yesterday at the party, and then
Exchange.
I think yeah, but it's not really an exchange because she's not necessarily swapping with someone.
Oh, I don't know then.
Neither do I. Anyway, that was what. So we went to theirs yesterday.
What Australia university is she going to?
I can't remember specifically which one, but it's on the. It's in Sydney somewhere.
What's she studying?
I think she does like biology or medical biology or something.
So is she like going out there to study like human biology?
No, I think I don't know the specifics. It might just be biology.
Like, is she going out there to study like Australian wildlife and stuff?
No, she's going out there to go to university.
Yeah, but why Australia?
Because that was one of the options she had.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I like that when I know people that do stuff, I get grilled about it by you.
I'm very inquisitive. People know that by now, surely.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Did you get drunk?
I got sort of fairly drunk at the first one, not particularly drunk at the second one, and not particularly drunk yesterday.
Did you get lucky with anyone?
No.
Oh, what's the point then?
What,
The story is redundant. Catching up.
I got to hang out with all my friends.
Ugh, boring. Anything exciting happen at any of the parties?
No.
Cool. Good catching up with.
I did. Listeners, I did warn Liam at the start of this. He said, "Oh, you've been to 3 parties, so very exciting catching up with." And I said, "No, because they're just parties."
Did you do any like karaoke? I know you like to do karaoke.
No, that's usually my dad.
Having met him now, I could see that.
Yeah, he loves karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not a whole lot of like notable excitement.
Okay.
Just sort of chilled out, chatted with friends. How about you, Liam?
I've had a time.
Yeah. Listeners, we were easing you in. Get ready for
So
deluge.
Ellie gave you. We've kind of positioned the start of this episode as a shit sandwich, where Ellie gives you like a nice bit. I'm going to give you the shit, and then we'll have the film reviews, which are the bit that you really want to be here for. So, less a shit sandwich, and more like an appetizer that you didn't really want, a main that you didn't really want, but a delightful dessert that you've really been craving.
What is your fixation on desserts?
I'm trying to eat healthy, and it's not going well.
I can tell. It's really fucking with your head back.
I ate 4 strawberry tarts on the weekend.
That's not eating healthy.
No. We went out deliberately to buy some, and they weren't there, so we were like, well, let's just make some. So we got like the bases and this thing that I didn't know existed called creme pat or something. Didn't know. No. And Kat made me some strawberry tarts. The only thing that was missing was like the jelly that normally goes on top, because she doesn't like jelly.
Wait.
There's normally like a thin layer of jelly on top of a strawberry tart, isn't there?
Yeah. No, but that's the bit that's strawberry.
No, because then you also have strawberries.
I mean, it doesn't sound like you were eating a strawberry tart, quite frankly. If you didn't have the strawberry jam,
no,
or
you have like the
top,
base, and then the creme pat weird stuff, and then you have strawberries on top. What is that if it's not a strawberry tart?
No, it isn't. A strawberry tart is the base, the whatever bullshit thing.
Yeah.
Then the layer of strawberry jam. That's a strawberry tart.
You need to go to Patisserie Valerie and ask for a strawberry tart.
Yeah, well, if you're eating at fancy places, of course they give you strawberries. But I'm saying if you missed out one of the key ingredients, you weren't eating a strawberry tart. You were eating part of a
having
tart
a real
with strawberries.
strawberry is whatever. It's redundant.
I'm not insulting the fact that you had real strawberries. I'm just saying it wasn't a strawberry tart. It
What
was
was it
a
then?
tart base with strawberries on it.
AKA a strawberry tart.
Well, some would say otherwise. Carry on. We're getting distracted far too early.
Yeah. So we also have come to an agreement because the last episode was such a marathon, thanks to Jason and Lee just talking endlessly.
Don't make it seem like they're dicks for it.
No.
I was very aware that it was in fact you and Lee in the end of the last one, where poor Jason was like, "I have to go soon," and I was trying to wrap up, and then you and Lee just kept bombarding each other with questions.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed recording with Jason and Lee. It was fun.
It was good.
Anyone that's listening to this that hasn't listened to it, all right, it's 3 hours of your life.
It is long.
Like in that time, you could watch Lord of the Rings, which is one of the best movies ever made. But you know,
or you could listen to Nerd on Nerd Atlantic Screen Connection.
we take you on a similar epic journey where
There genuinely were some good bits in the last episode. Whole swaths of good bits. So
as opposed to most of the episodes where there's like
which is just us rambling.
one little kind of diamond in a just sea of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. That's how we sell this, I guess.
Yeah, now tell your shit story.
Yeah, so everyone, keep your eyes out for that nugget.
It's not going to be this bit.
It's not. Okay, I've got 2 grievances that I've been experiencing this week. Would you like to hear about my showering problems or about my watching film problems?
Start me with the watching film problems, because that has come up on the show definitely before. If it's about the Blu-ray.
Sort of.
Well, it'll be, yeah, I mean, we have heard about you struggling with Blu-rays, so...
Well, it's a reason why this list isn't going down quicker than it should, perhaps.
Oh, so it's an excuse.
It's a valid reason.
Alright, give it to me.
Let me take you back about a month and a half ago. You may remember this, because it was when you were visiting.
Yeah.
If you could put some, like, little tinkly music in there.
Yeah, got you, yeah.
Perfect. Do you remember when you came to visit and I said to you, look at this problem that's happening, and I put a disc into my Blu-ray player and it intermittently kept cutting to black every now and again. Really random. There was no like pattern to it. It was just annoying. Yeah.
And then you sent it off to them, they didn't fix it, and you had to go, went back and you were like, look, you didn't check it for long enough because it still happens.
I'm going to name and shame. So the store that I bought this from is a UK retailer named John Lewis. The reason why I bought it from John Lewis is because I had been reliably informed that their customer service was excellent and they have really good warranty on if things go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
My experience does not align with what I've heard.
It's like this is like a fucking Yelp review. Carry on.
So, this issue happens that I show to you, and as we've just discussed, I drive to John Lewis with the Blu-ray player, the power cable, and the remote control. And in the original box that it came in, I'm very diligent like that and kept it. Hand it in, they send it off. As we've discussed, it comes back. I excitedly set it all back up. I'm like, yeah, finally. It only took them like 2 weeks. That's not bad.
No, that's quite quick.
Yeah. Within 8 minutes, the issue started again.
Yep.
So, grabbed my phone, filmed what was happening. That very same day, drove back to John Lewis, the popular UK retailer that are well known for their warranty and excellent customer service, apparently. And
according to Liam's mum.
Yeah. So true. And I said to them, look, I've returned this. You've sent it back. The company that you sent it to claimed that they could not find any fault.
Yep.
How do you explain this video? And I bamboozled them. I showed them the video. At first, the guy was like super dismissive. He didn't even want to see the video. And I was insistent. I was like, no, look, just for my own sanity, just to make sure I'm not going crazy and seeing things here, watch this video. And he looked at it and he went, oh yeah, that does seem like there's something going wrong, doesn't it? No shit.
Yeah, go on. I'm just... Listeners, we're trialling the whole video calling each other, and watching Liam's face as he tells this story is a thing of beauty.
So,
you took the video. You proved you were not insane by showing
I
it.
had to email the video to the company that's supposedly in charge of fixing this stuff.
Yep.
Then the wait begins. And I wait. About 3 weeks later, finally get a phone call. Yeah, your Blu-ray player is ready for pickup. So I go there. It turns out it's like a digital board or something that's been replaced.
Motherboard?
I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe.
I mean, probably. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, and they say to me like, oh yeah, so they've replaced this digital board or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, okay. Brought my Blu-ray player home, unpacked it. Blu-ray player's there, brilliant. Remote control's there, brilliant. No power supply.
Yeah.
That's just gone missing.
Great.
So, phone up John Lewis. They're like, oh yeah, we don't know. Let's ring the company. The company don't know where it is. They're like, we'll look for it. I have to wait. Several days basically go by with me just ringing daily, and it transpires that the company did have it. Then, because I was getting a bit like leery, because I was getting annoyed, I was like, right, so the company's going to send the power pack back to John Lewis. So I've now got to drive to John Lewis, which will be my 5th. Hang on. I went there, came back, went to pick it up, came back, went there to drop it off, came back, went to pick up. 5th time.
Yeah.
5th time at John Lewis, just to pick up a power supply to see if this thing that you should have fixed the first time but didn't has now actually been fixed. Because until I get the power supply, I have no way of seeing if what you've done has fixed it. So I kicked off a bit, and then John Lewis phoned the company that were meant to be fixing it and told them to just ship me the power cable directly. And then the next day, I had a phone call from that company that went a little bit like this. Is that Mr. Underwood? Yeah. We're a bit confused because we've just heard from John Lewis about the power supply, and they want us to send it to you, but we've already sent it to the store, so we don't know what to do. I was like, well, not a lot you can do, really, is there, if you've already sent it to the store?
Unless they... yeah, I mean, to be fair to that company, at that point, there isn't a whole lot they can do.
Yeah, exactly. So like, right, okay. And then I was just getting, like, sassy, and I was like, yeah, to be honest, I don't think John Lewis really know what they're doing, do they? And they were like, yeah, no, sure. Then right... So I was told that I'd get a phone call when they had the power supply ready to pick it up. I was told it would be within 24 to 48 hours. I was told this on a Wednesday. By Saturday, I was annoyed.
Yep.
So I drove to John Lewis. This is like, fuck knows, my 5th time there now? Ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous. And I get there and I'm like, oh yeah, I've come to pick up a power supply. And I was like, has anyone told you it's here? I was like, well, I was told on Wednesday that it would take 24 to 48 hours, so I'm assuming it's here. And he was like, oh, are you Underwood? I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, we have a power supply here. It has no name attached to it, and the reference number does not match any of the reference numbers you have, but you're the only customer we know that's waiting for a power supply. I was like, let's see if we can puzzle this one out using logic. I'm the only customer waiting for a power supply, and you have a power supply. Could that be mine, maybe? And they they were super reluctant, but they were eventually like, take it home, test it. If it doesn't work, bring it back. I was like, cool, my 6th trip back. Why not? So
I hope this. No offense, because I don't want you to be suffering, because I know that this is an important thing to you. But I really hope that after all this, the DVD player wasn't fixed.
Luckily, it was. It was the power supply that's worked. Since that's happened, I've watched 2 films, and that happened on Saturday, and this is now Monday. So, you know, like a little junkie trying to get his fix.
Yeah, I mean, that's not many. You're being a bit of a shit junkie, really.
Well, yeah, but I did other stuff as well. Like, I went swimming and then ate a massive burger.
And 4 strawberry tarts.
Yeah, it's busy. But so that's why I haven't been watching a lot of Blu-rays lately, because I haven't had a fucking Blu-ray player.
Streaming.
Yeah, no, I've been watching like stuff on Netflix, but like TV
also,
stuff.
you own 1,001 or whatever it is DVDs to watch. I don't think they're all Blu-ray.
They're not.
Yeah. So
I have a backup.
Bit of a shit excuse.
I have a backup Blu-ray player as well, but it's not as good because it doesn't upscale to 4K.
This is the thing, Liam, is this whole excuse falls apart because you have a spare Blu-ray player and most of them are DVDs.
Not most, but like...
I bet it's most.
No, it's definitely not. I can guarantee that. I reckon it's about 30%.
That's still so many, because it's over 1,000 DVDs.
Yeah, that's probably like, what, 300?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So basically, if you're in the UK, the summary of this story is don't trust John Lewis and don't trust what your mum says about John Lewis having good customer service and good warranty.
To be fair, very specifically, it was the John Lewis by you, because that's it's not fair to paint the whole company based off your experience with one outlet of that company.
But the customer, like, I had to keep ringing a technical support line, which is a national number. So a lot of the frustration didn't necessarily come from my specific store, but just from the fact that John Lewis are shit.
Fair enough. How about the shower?
Do you know what? Long-time listeners will know that I've had no luck with showers. Do you remember?
No.
Do you remember, like, when we first started recording and I was having all those issues?
Yep.
It's happening again.
Yep.
I'm just, like, cursed with leaky
I think
shower.
you might just have shit landlords.
It's definitely that. So I'm going to be quick because, you know, everyone's waiting for the film reviews.
They're just so excited.
I can't wait. Oh, we've got some good ones coming up. And the end of an era. Anyway, shower time.
You sounded so depressed when you said that. Calm down. We'll wait for the film review section.
Here's what happened. I had a shower. No, Kat had a shower, then I had a shower. And then when I was showering, Kat was downstairs, and a light bulb blew. Is this what started it? What started it?
This is how I remember you doing
this is what started it. Then a light bulb blew, and basically what was happening was water was leaking from the shower across, like, the ceiling downstairs and through the light fixture, which is not good.
No, not ideal. You don't particularly want running water going through electrics.
No. We're in rented accommodation, so not really our problem to deal with. We contacted the landlord.
Yep.
He came over. He was like, oh, yeah, I see the problem. I remember what started it. Nah, wasn't that. Scratch that. Rewind. Problem was that the tiling on the bottom of the shower was a bit loose. And we pointed that out to the landlord when he came for an inspection. That's what started it. So he was like, oh, yeah, it is loose. I'm going to take those tiles out and re-grout them. That's what started it. And instead of getting a professional, he did it himself. Immediately after doing it, what I've just discussed happened, where I had a shower and I had a shower. Yeah, light fixture. So we were like, oh, right, well, that's the landlord, because he just re-grouted that and clearly didn't work.
Yep.
He came back and was like, oh, yeah, I wasn't sure if it would work because you're meant to give it like 24 hours between grouting it and then putting the sealant on.
Because fuck it. When you're a landlord, whatever.
Yeah. It's not like it's, you know, your life that's being disrupted by this constantly. So he came back, he did it all, cut to a week later, maybe 2 weeks later. I had a shower and then Kat had a shower. We looked at the ceiling, big patch of water spreading again. So
wonderful.
Just a pain in the ass. That's ongoing. That's just, we don't know. Apparently he's going to send someone at last.
You and Kat need to save up and buy a place.
Yeah, but it's expensive.
It is. I agree. I'm also trying to do the same thing, and I know it's expensive.
Like, I was trying to do that, and then I was doing really well with the saving, and then I got hit with that $6,000 student loan I wasn't expecting. I had to pay back. So that went, there went the savings for that. Then we were like, oh, well, we need to move closer to London. So let's... Because the other thing is, I want to rent somewhere before I buy somewhere.
You have been renting places for...
Yeah, no, I know, but I wouldn't want to buy down here with where I work. So we need to move closer to London and then rent in an area that I like enough to want to buy in. Because I wouldn't want to just buy straight into an area and then discover, oh, this area's shit and full of pikeys.
You're not going to find that, but whatever.
So now we're just looking to find somewhere else to rent, but we're also having to deal with all this shit that's going on.
Yeah, which isn't ideal.
So that's what I've been doing.
Fun.
That was catching up with. I hope you enjoyed Ellie's fun party stories, and
I've been partying. Liam's been
doing adult stuff.
About.
Well,
you're getting your Blu-ray player fixed, and having a man come and fix your shower.
I mean,
failed to fix your shower.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't mind if he actually did fix it.
And eating 4 jam tarts, which weren't really jam tarts.
They were strawberry tarts. They had strawberries on them.
Well, now it's time for Liam's favourite part of the show. Liam's been to the cinema, and here are the spoiler-free reviews of the things that he's seen at the cinema, and also spoiler-free reviews of other things that he's seen that weren't necessarily at the cinema, but things that he has seen anyway.
Yeah.
Also, Ellie might do some as well if she's done so.
Yeah. If this is your favourite part of the show, just to shut Ellie up, tweet us and let us know.
No, because it's only going to be Amanda that tweets, and then Liam will be like, but that's all our fans.
It's a vast majority.
It is not. We have at least 10 fans.
Name them.
We don't know their names. They're fans. Tom.
Yeah.
Jason and Lee.
Yeah.
Amanda.
Yeah, so that's 4.
Yeah, and then there's the listens we get. Whatever. Tell me what you've seen.
Let's start with Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Yep.
Now, I really enjoyed Jurassic World,
Yeah,
like the one that came out a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was looking at
it.
reviews of it and stuff, and it was getting pretty panned. But I enjoyed it. I rewatched it before watching Fallen Kingdom as well, and I still enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's good. It's a good fun time.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's not as good as the first Jurassic Park. Very few things.
Exactly.
All right, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. It sees like our main players sort of return. So you got like Chris Pratt comes back, and what's her face? Bryce Dallas Howard.
Sure.
Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
I've got no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name. And then you've got like a couple of other like newcomers, like Rafe Spall. Don't know if that's how you say his name. And Toby Jones, and also right. I don't know if you saw the trailer for this, but they made a big deal about how Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's only going to be in it for a tiny bit.
Basically, everything that's in the trailer is everything that he does in the film. Which
that doesn't surprise me. That's what I was expecting.
It's a waste, though. If you're going to get him back, give him something more to do than just standing in a courtroom spouting off some nonsense.
But my issue with the whole like bringing back a past character is, I think it is too easy for them to then go the complete opposite if they try and give them more, where that character then just takes over the film because, like,
I'd be
Jeff
happy.
Goldblum's back in
Yeah,
it.
I'd be happy if Jeff Goldblum took over the film because this film's
No,
terrible.
I wouldn't, because then it's just them scraping to be Jurassic Park again, which it's not going to be, so be its own thing.
But he was good in Lost World.
Yeah, which is part of the original Jurassic Park trilogy.
Yeah, he wasn't in the third one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know what point you were trying to make anyway.
Right. So.
Yeah. Has it got dinosaurs?
Yes.
Do the dinosaurs kill people?
Yeah.
Do they save the day? Don't say that one because that's probably a spoiler. Sounds to me like it's a good Jurassic Park movie.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience with it as well.
Oh God, was this the one where they were like... Oh no, that was like... No, go on. Yep.
Yeah, this was the one where I've been having real bad experiences at the cinema lately, to the point where if it wasn't for the fact that I have to keep doing this part of the show that everyone loves so much, I'd be really tempted to just stop going.
Yeah, well, you had a bad experience in Hereditary.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, you've had a bad experience. What happened in this one? What was the specific
We were
thing?
sat next to this big group of adults.
Yeah.
Where there was someone our row, someone on the row in front and someone on the row behind, and while the movie's on, they're just passing popcorn to each other and talking. And one of them had their feet out and was resting their feet on the chair in front of them.
Just bare feet.
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? When they're adults, I'm like, you should know. My pet peeve is when people treat the cinema like it's their living room.
Yes.
It's not. There's other people around.
Yeah, and people are like, even if they're, even if you were like, oh well, I can get my feet out, I'm not going to bother people. If you're putting your feet up on the chair in front of you, you're just ruining it for whoever sits there next.
Yes, exactly. It's that sort of like selfish, inconsiderate behaviour that is making me want to stop going to the cinema, because it's not getting better. Like this is an issue that we've discussed in previous episodes, and I'm a little bit more lenient when it's like teenagers. I'm like, they've still got time to learn from their mistakes. But when you've got like bona fide adults doing this shit, it fucks me off. And as we've also discussed in the past, I'm way too awkward to say anything, and also don't want to cause a scene because that's going to be disruptive to the film. The problem is, cinemas don't pay their staff enough to properly police these sorts of screenings. And if the screenings aren't being policed, people are just going to get away with being shit. Like, we went out, and luckily enough, there was a showing like 30 minutes later than the one that we saw. So it wasn't like we had to wait around a long time. And we said, look, this is why we want to go to this other one. And the woman behind the table was like, oh, okay, I'll go and poke my head in and have a look at what's going on. But it's a bit late by that point.
Yeah, once you've left... Yeah, that's... The issue with the whole, like, coming out and getting a member of staff is you have to miss a bit of the film to do it.
Yeah.
Which is the bit that sucks.
Yeah. There should be, like, either a little attendant button like you get in airplanes in your seat.
No, because people would press that all the time.
They would. Or, as something I've suggested before, and I think this is the future of what cinema should start doing,
don't point your gun at me.
Dickhead-only screenings. If you prove yourself to be a dickhead, you are barred from going to just normal screenings, and you get access to these exclusive dickhead-only screenings where it's just other people that can't behave themselves in cinemas, and you can all just fucking run riot in the screening for all I care.
I think the real issue with that is there are too many people that would get barred for being a dickhead.
Yeah.
Too many to make it a feasible option for cinema. I think the more realistic, if you're going to go that way, the more realistic option you've got is they should do screenings where a cinema attendant stays in that screening. It's like a specific type of screening, like the quiet screening. There's an attendant who sits in that one because that saves them. That means they're not spending money for every showing of every film.
Yeah.
But if you're a dickhead in that one, you get kicked out.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. I think that's a more realistic.
You know how like on flights they have like undercover police.
Well, yeah, like American flights.
Yeah, like they need that basically, but with the cinema, like an undercover.
I don't think they need undercover. You just have someone in a uniform. Uniforms are more deterring than undercover.
Yeah, do that then.
Just have a cinema guy.
I think if I owned a cinema and ran one,
it would be hell. No one would go.
They would, because there'd be like at the start you'd have like it wasn't this film, it was another film. Phone was going off. Now, surely, like I've been going to the cinema for a few years regularly, and before that, like, occasionally.
Yeah.
Do we still need reminders to turn your mobile phones off at the start of films?
No, it is stupid that people are doing that.
Yeah. It's just... anyway, back to Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, sorry.
The problem with the film is the trailer sets it up, okay? I think there's a line in the trailer which is basically describes what you would hope the plot of the film would be, which is there's this volcano on an island, it's going to go off. We have to go back to the island to save the dinosaurs.
Yes.
That's a great idea, right?
I'm assuming that's not what happens in the film.
That's like the first third. And then shit gets silly. Really silly. Like, to the point where the film ends and you're like, is that seriously how they've ended it? Like, there's talks that they want to do another one, and it's just been ended in such a way that it's ludicrous. The idea of them doing another one is baffling.
Can I guess what it is, Liam?
Try.
Is it that the military side of the world and these dinosaurs try to arm all the dinosaurs with guns, and then you get a scene where Chris Pratt is wearing cool aviators and Blue's behind him with a shotgun wearing cool aviators as well, and then they kick through a door?
No. But there was one point where I genuinely thought... I don't think this is a spoiler because it didn't turn out to happen. But there's one bit where I genuinely thought, is it going to turn out that little girl was part dinosaur? That's how silly it gets. That was like a genuine consideration. Yeah. And afterwards I said this to Kat and she was like, yeah, I had that thought as well.
Holy shit. That would have been bad. That, to be fair to you, that's not even like out of the realm of possibilities for Jurassic Park, because in the third film, one of the original scripts was that they were going to be half human, half dinosaur super soldiers in it. It's one of my favourite drop scripts. I wish they'd made that film.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's where they're going with this series, because it feels like, judging from this one, I think that this is the problem, right? If you go in expecting it to go that silly, it might be okay. But if you go in expecting like a film about them trying to save dinosaurs off of an exploding island, that's not what you get.
Well, I'm going to go in with all these silly expectations and I'm going to love the film.
You probably will.
What if it turns out that it's all a prequel to that old 90s weird live-action puppet thing with the dinosaurs? Was it called Dinosaurs?
Yeah,
where they were
the TV show?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's all a prequel to that. They're genetically creating human-like dinosaurs.
There was a VHS that I had when I was a kid. I used to watch it a lot.
Was it a naughty one?
No. I can't remember what it's called, but it was basically about these kids that their favourite TV show or something was about this dinosaur village or something. And then they somehow get sucked into the TV and they end up in this TV show and there's like dinosaurs and there's like this like mob boss dinosaur. No, it's really obscure.
I mean, mate, I wasn't alive when you were a little baby.
That's true.
I don't remember the Victorian era.
No. When IMDb still had its message boards, they had one that was like to help people find it, and someone did help me find it, but I've forgotten it since.
I did that before with a dinosaur learning tape that I had as a kid. And there's like a group of, I think, 13 of us.
Yeah.
That all, like, the only time we've ever spoken is, do you still have a copy of the green dinosaur tape? And everyone's like, yeah, we'll send you it. So I now have a copy of it saved somewhere.
Wow.
It's my favourite thing.
Oh, have I just found it? Hang on. I've just got to look up something. Oh, I think this is it. I think it was called Adventures in Dinosaur City.
Fair enough.
A scientist's kids are sucked into a TV screen and wind up in the Stone Age with cavemen and dinosaurs. Came out in 1991.
Year I was born.
Yeah, so this is maybe why you don't remember it so much. Anyway, I wish I was watching that instead of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, because the premise of that would probably be better.
Out of 5?
I'm going to give it 2.5 because, and here's why. Like you said, there's dinosaurs in it.
Yep.
Dinosaurs eat people.
Yep.
I like the cast. I like Chris Pratt. I like Bryce Dallas Howard. There's 2 newcomers to the cast. A girl called Daniella Pineda, maybe something like that. Pineda. And a guy called Justice Smith. And I thought they were really good. And the first third, where I was kind of being given the film that I was expecting, I did quite enjoy. So, 2.5 out of 5. It's just the rest is just... It's just so silly. It's not that it's necessarily bad. It's just silly. In a way that, I think that with something like Jurassic Park, you go, I can believe about genetically edited, engineered dinosaurs at a theme park. That's a premise that is somewhat silly, but you buy into. They just take this bit too far with the silliness.
Okay.
That was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Next, I saw Hereditary.
Another film where you had a bad audience experience.
Yes. Hereditary is a horror movie, but the audience that I saw it with thought it was a comedy because they were laughing.
Which is, yeah, so you said this to me.
Yeah.
What were they laughing at? Is it the thing that I'm jumping to the worst conclusion about what they were laughing at.
Right.
And I pray to God that I'm not right, because that would be such a depressing indictment of the countryside you live in.
Okay, go on, what do you think?
Is it the fact that the little girl's disabled?
No.
Or got what? Good, thank God. Because when you told me that, that's all I could think. And I was like, if it's just Liam sitting in this audience of people laughing at this poor little girl, how mean would that be?
Yeah, that would be very mean. It wasn't that. So.
Can you say it without spoiling it?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
It's maybe considered like a mild spoiler. Maybe.
Okay.
And the thing that's most annoying is in this screening, there were teenagers. And like I said, I'm a bit more forgiving if teenagers are dickheads. But there was also adults behind me. And the adults were laughing loudest. Right?
Jeez, yeah.
I think the problem with a film like Hereditary is you either go with it or you resist it. And when it comes to horror, there's a lot of reasons why you would resist it. Especially in a public space like a cinema, if you start getting scared, laughter is quite a natural release.
Yeah.
But this wasn't what was happening. What was happening is basically the audience felt that the film was so bad that they could just openly laugh at it.
Right.
And when you're watching a film that bad, a part of me is just either leave if you think it's that bad, or I get if you've spent money and you don't want to leave, maybe just don't laugh openly and loudly, because there might be other people there who are trying to enjoy this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially in something like a horror where atmosphere is so important.
Yes, because if you're laughing throughout the film, it's going to be not scary because you're all laughing.
The laughing was really immature. There's a scene where there's some naked people.
And they laughed?
And they laughed at the naked people.
How old were these adults?
The ones behind were, at a guess, late 40s, early 50s.
Jesus Christ.
And there were also teenagers. There were also teenagers that were laughing at this as well. There is one bit that even I thought that hasn't quite worked. It just doesn't look good. And that got a big laugh. And I was like, it was at that point where I was like, right, they're laughing at this film because they think it's bad. Because that bit I was like, yeah, that hasn't quite worked.
Yeah.
But the rest, I genuinely was just looking around why are these people laughing? Because I was, it wasn't necessarily scary, but I brought into what the film was trying to do, and slightly creepy. It's being compared a lot to The Exorcist, and I don't see that comparison myself. The more obvious comparison is probably Rosemary's Baby.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's good. I'd recommend it. It's better than this.
I had assumed from watching all the trailers and stuff and seeing how much people were how much the advertisers were trying to be it's the new Exorcist. I was like, it's not. Well, that's definitely not what it is.
Yeah.
100%. This is not going to feel like The Exorcist.
Yeah. It also reminded me of a film that I probably reviewed on the podcast last year called The Ritual.
That rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, about some guys that are like trying to. One of their friends got killed, and they're like,
yes,
they go
yeah. They go into the woods,
yeah,
and they meet the weird cult or whatever.
There you go. Yeah. Here's the other thing with Hereditary. The trailer made me think this film was very different to what it was.
Okay.
Because the trailer makes it seem like it is all about like essentially passing down like the sins of your parents almost, and how that affects your kids, and especially like the trailer makes it seem like you've got this grandmother, and then a mother, and then a daughter, and how the like issues have trickled down and are affecting the daughter, right?
Yep.
That's not that.
Okay.
Not that. So that was a bit odd.
Yeah.
There's positives. Like I said, some of it is creepy. Toni Collette, brilliant. Millie Shapiro, who played the little girl, really good. And Gabriel Byrne, also really good. There's also like a guy in it, actor named Alex Wolff. Not so good. He was a bit, just not quite. The role was very challenging that he's been given, and he doesn't quite rise to the occasion.
Okay.
So it was a bit of a letdown, and some of his bits were getting laughs when they shouldn't have. And it was because the acting wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't like fucking laughably bad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It was like, it sounds like it was relatively not bad, but like not particularly great. But these people were overreacting to that in this film's shit. Let's all laugh.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard so much good stuff about Hereditary as well, so I was kind of disappointed. I gave it 3 out of 5.
So better than Jurassic World.
Yeah, if you see it with a different audience, you might have a very different experience. Because I can only really talk like to a degree. I can talk about what the film does, but obviously the experience I have with the audience is gonna somewhat tank
because you didn't get the atmosphere.
Exactly.
Whereas if you were in an audience of people being like,
and this is why I'm starting to get frustrated with going to the cinema.
Yeah, I mean, so is part of it. You're quite keen on going when a film first comes out, which for big stuff, obviously, that's the solution. But, like, my favourite time to go and see a film I'm not in a rush to see is towards the end of the run, late at night, on, like, a weekend. Particularly late Sunday nights I've had maybe 1 or 2 bad experiences. That was the one where I nearly got the shit kicked out of me by the people because I told them to shut up.
Yeah.
And they waited for me afterwards.
That sounds like fun.
Sassed on by.
Well, the thing, Jurassic World we went to see on a Sunday evening, but we went at like 7 o'clock. Like
and it's only just come out.
Yeah, Kat wouldn't go any
later.
later.
And I'm talking like 10 o'clock showings.
Yeah, so Kat won't do one that late.
That's fair.
Hereditary we did on a Friday evening. In hindsight, they had showings at like 11 a.m. on a Saturday. That might have been better. Yeah,
because then your 11 a.m. is traditionally people are going to avoid because they're like, oh, there'll be kids there, not thinking this is Hereditary. There aren't going to be kids there.
Exactly. But the other thing is like I shouldn't have to do that.
No, you shouldn't.
That's the other thing. But I'm going to have to start.
Yeah. It's not ideal, but it is a solution.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why I like going so early is so we can do this part of the show that everyone loves so much, and because I imagine we have like tens of listeners that are sat here just like, oh, I really want to go to the cinema. What should I go see this weekend? I'll listen to what Liam has to say.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I would say Hereditary, if you can get the right screening for it, good luck. If you only see one film this week, it's that one.
Hereditary. Okay. Now, Liam, why don't you tell us about the end of the era?
I finally finished Parenthood. Season 6.
Yay!
Oh, Ellie.
He's going to shut up about it.
Ellie, am I though? Because, oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I'm not until you watch it.
No, well, that's just... I'll just keep talking about Queer Eye.
No, watch the first episode.
I can do this, Liam. You can talk about Parenthood all you want, as long as I'm allowed to tell you all about Queer Eye.
I've watched the first episode of Queer Eye.
Yeah. So you haven't finished it.
No, but now you watched the first episode of Parenthood. That's the deal. No. That's the deal.
No, it isn't a deal. I'm not making a deal with you. I'm saying if you talk about Parenthood, I'll talk about Queer Eye.
That's a good
I'm letting
deal.
you have this one for free. I won't talk about Queer Eye. But if you carry on talking about it.
Right, season 6. So good. Oh, so good. Just... Alright. Here's like my favourite people in Parenthood. I'm going to read
Listeners, you may be about to skip ahead in this conversation to 5 minutes from now, I'd imagine.
Craig T. Nelson. Good job. Max Burkholder. Good job. Miles Heiser, good job. Mae Whitman, good job. Dax Shepard, he did a good job. Sam Yeager, what a name. And what a good job he did. Erica Christensen, do you know what? She's got the dorkiest smile. She's like smoking hot but has the dorkiest smile. I love it. Good job, you. Monica Potter, didn't like her at the start. Grew to love her. Good job. Peter Krause, wow. What a guy. I knew nothing about him before I started watching this show. Now I love him. To the point where me and Kat a while ago watched the first season of 6 Feet Under because it has Michael C. Hall in it, who you'll know as Dexter.
Yep.
It also has Peter Krause in. I didn't even realise when I watched Parenthood that I'd watch a whole season of another show that he's in. But I loved him so much that I now want to go back and watch 6 Feet Under just because of him. And Lauren Graham, who obviously, as you all know, is the reason why I started watching Parenthood, to like address that Gilmore Girls void that was in my life. I've got a fun fact.
Fantastic.
Lauren Graham and Peter Krause met on Parenthood and started dating. What a wonderful story. She does a great job. I'm now looking for the next show to fill the Gilmore Girls / Parenthood gap. I think overall I prefer Parenthood to Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. You've talked about it way more than you talked about Gilmore Girls.
It's because I wasn't reviewing each season of Gilmore Girls, which...
like a normal human being.
I was talking about it on Housekeeping because we'd done it for a culture swap. So maybe if we'd have done Parenthood as a culture swap, that's what we should have done, thinking about it. That would have been so good. The thing with the show, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Like I thought, from what I knew about it, which was very limited, that it would be like a 30-minute sort of Modern Family-esque show.
Yeah.
It's so much better than that.
I don't know why you thought it would be that.
No, I don't know why I did either. The only thing I knew about it was, obviously, it was mentioned in Lauren Graham's book that I read and also reviewed on this podcast.
Yeah.
And that's what... And that's what got me intrigued. I just blind bought like the DVD box set, seasons 1 to 6, and after the first episode, which nearly made me cry, and I'm not like you, I don't cry in everything.
I cry everything.
Yeah, I know. I was just sold. Like, you have to watch the first episode of the first season, and if you don't love it, Nerd on Nerd is over.
Cool. But I'm just not going to watch it then.
No, but you
Why
will
would I
love
take
it.
that risk?
You will love it. It's so good. How could you not? It's just wonderful. The only thing, I've got one criticism. Before I watched the very last episode, I was like, I wish they'd do like a reunion. Now, it only ended like 3 years ago, so it's maybe a bit soon. I was like, I would love it in the future if they did some sort of like reunion show. And then something happens in the last episode, and I was just like, nah, don't want it now. Stupid.
Can you not spike the audio by throwing shit on your desk, please? I know you're excited, but calm down.
So I threw a pen at my laptop, which I also probably shouldn't do.
Also, listeners, if any music bleeds through, I think my neighbours are celebrating the fact that I assume England just won their first match in the World Cup, and they've decided that the way to celebrate that is to play music. So I apologise.
At least they're not going out and glassing people in the face, which is what football fans normally do.
To be honest, if it meant they weren't ruining the podcast, I'd be for it.
Just the sounds of someone screaming as they're being horribly disfigured. I don't like football, and I don't like the World Cup. But what I do like is Parenthood, and season 6 is finished. I've got no more Parenthood, and I'm sad about that. It's shit. Do you know what we've started watching in replacement? Started watching season 2 of Riverdale. Doesn't compare. It's good in its own way. It's not filling the void that's in my life right now.
What do you give the latest season of Parenthood out of 5, Liam?
4.5.
What do you give Parenthood as a whole?
5. I don't think any show, like any season, got a solid 5. But when I look back at it as a whole, it's a 5. It's just a big fat 5.
Weird.
I just love it so much. Like,
I know, Liam, I can tell.
Pretty much all of the characters have something about them that I love. And I don't get why you're so reluctant to jump on this train.
Because I'm watching other stuff that I have to watch.
Like what?
Queer Eye.
Yeah, but that's like... you're going to be done with that in no time.
Yeah, and then I had to rewatch season 1 because I missed them so much.
Yeah.
And then they came back, and now I'm going to have to rewatch both seasons. And then I have to like rewatch season 2 separately, then season 1 separately, then rewatch both again.
You're wasting time by watching stuff that you've already seen. Watch new things.
I'm
like
watching
Parenthood.
season 2 of Queer Eye, which I haven't seen.
Yeah, but then once that's done, instead of rewatching shit that you've seen, watch something new.
I've got to watch Sense8 for the podcast because that's had the finale has been released, the 2-hour special.
I
So
know.
I now need to watch season 2, watch the finale of Sense8, then I've got to go back and watch Luke Cage, then I've got to go watch the rest of the Marvel ones that have come out. Then I've got to go
season 2
and
of
watch
Luke
Gilmore
Cage comes
Girls.
out in 4
Then
days.
I've got to finish Gilmore Girls. Then I've got to
That's
finish
never
all
happening.
the other stuff we've done for Culture Swap that we're going to definitely finish.
It's never happened. By the way, on our
I've
YouTube
got to read
channel,
American Psycho.
Have you not done that yet?
No.
On our YouTube channel, we recently had the Culture Swap for Sense8 went up, and I was listening back and was like, oh, I even say in the episode, I enjoyed the show and I want to carry on, but I just never did. And now that all the news about them doing that like final like wrap up episode, I'm like, I do. It's on my list of things to. I would go back and start from the beginning, but that could be coming to a future housekeeping one day maybe.
Someone at work like loves Sense8 and had just finished watching it all again, and I was like, I need to get on it.
Yeah, exactly. But you also just the next time you're here, I'm forcing you to watch the first episode of Parenthood.
I'll just walk out.
You won't know.
After you made me watch Joel McHale's Joel McHale show.
That's really good. I don't know why you don't like it. You've just got...
Ask me what I've done, Liam.
I'm getting to it, but before that, I love Parenthood.
Yeah?
If anyone has any recommendations for a show that would fill the void that's Gilmore Girls-y, Parenthood-y, do you know what? It might not be a bad shout, actually. Like I said, I watched...
genuinely, it is a like wholesome show, which is what Gilmore Girls and Parenthood, from what I'm sort of getting from you. I know Parenthood may be a bit more serious sometimes. I mean, Queer Eye's serious sometimes. There are some real deep episodes where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the first episode.
There's a transgender man in the second season.
I know, Kat was telling me all about it.
I cried.
Of course.
I cried at every episode this season that I've seen.
I watched the first episode with my mum, and I was like, I get why people like the show. Like, I can't complain about it, because it's exactly like a film that came out last year that I was raving about called Wonder, where I remember. It just makes you feel good and positive about the world, and I can't criticise that existing, because that's what we need more of at the moment.
Yep.
What have you done?
Liam, I watched an anime.
Okay.
I technically watched it for the last episode, but forgot to review it when I loudly shouted, I haven't done anything, let's move on, in our 3-hour special.
Yeah.
I watched an anime called One Punch Man.
I've heard of this.
You would enjoy it more than most of the other shit I recommend to you.
Why?
Because while it is an anime, it's poking fun at anime and superhero cliches.
Okay.
The idea is that this guy has trained so hard that he can now defeat everything in a single punch.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, world-destroying events happen and he stops them accidentally by punching it once.
Okay.
So it's sort of taking the mick out of that whole, like, Superman character.
Yeah.
But the show is genuinely hilarious. Some of the jokes are, like, this is an anime joke, which you'd probably be less, like...
Would it go over my head a bit?
I don't think so, because it's not, like, high-concept anime.
Yeah.
It's, like, taking the mick out of the stereotypes that you probably do know.
Okay.
Like, you know, like the super charge-up people that
Yeah.
have 3 forms and that kind of thing. But it's not very long. It's hilarious the whole way through.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but in a good way.
What's
Not
the
in my
like,
usual
animation
weird way.
like?
It's good. It's I don't know how modern the show is.
Yeah.
I think it was 2000s, but it's decent quality, like animation and stuff.
Okay.
So, not Attack on Titan level,
Yeah.
but decent anime level.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah. Give it a 4 out of 5, Liam.
That's pretty good. Is it just the one season that they've done?
Yeah. There's I think it's either a web series that's also been turned into a manga that then got turned into an anime.
Okay.
But that is still ongoing. But so far there is only one season, and it's
quite short.
I don't know how. I didn't think. Yeah, I think it was only 13 episodes or something, which is quite unusual for an anime. They're usually like 20, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Yeah.
So maybe on
it's
a
a
future
genuine
culture
recommendation
swap,
for you. Who knows? We could do
if we ever get
once
through
we've done Barefoot
again. Yeah. Have you done anything else? Book review, maybe.
We're close to the end of Westworld season 2, so I'll nearly be able to do that on this.
Cool.
Queer Eye I've nearly finished, so then I can do that. But American Psycho I'm 3% through or whatever I'm on now.
I thought you were further than half.
I think I am. No, I am, because that was before I did the 3 or 4 chapters.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am in it. I'm somewhere.
Finish it.
I'll finish it.
Well, Okay, housekeeping then.
Housekeeping.
Let's keep the house. Lee tweeted, basically, he was worried that he came across as being all, like, emotional and stuff in the last episode. Maybe not emotional, maybe that's the wrong word, but, like, I don't know. He was concerned about something.
You sound so caring, Liam.
No, I am caring.
Good defence.
Yeah. I can't, like, remember the exact word that he used.
Look it up.
I don't know. But basically, it spawned into this whole, like, Twitter thread and stuff.
For someone that insists on doing this part of the show, you're so unenthusiastic about it.
I
honestly, listeners, if you could see him, he's sitting there, head in hands, just staring at his computer screen.
I'm scrolling through the Twitter feed trying to figure out what this fucking word is.
Lee was, like, upset or something.
Here we go. He said that... alright, he said that triggering sympathy in people was not the intention of relaying his experience. And this is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I don't think that came across. Like, I don't think that it came across that he was trying to trigger sympathy. I think it was just a tender portrayal of a man's life unravelling before our very eyes.
But then he wrote a Wolverine drinking game, so it's all good.
Exactly. Like I said, I mean, we said earlier, it's got as much emotional depth as The Lord of the Rings, that episode.
It has. We go through all the roller coaster loops and turns.
Yeah. So yeah, that just basically... Why I was sounding so disinterested is because I was scrolling through a huge fucking Twitter thread that was just full of gifs and nonsense.
Yeah.
Amanda tweeted us saying she gave Cat hugs. She said hugs girl, which I think is like lady speak. Like, I've seen that in a few places where, like, women are like something girl. Hey girl, you got this girl. All that sort of stuff. I don't know.
What are you not understanding about that?
I know, I understand it. It's just... It's there.
Right, sure, okay.
I've never seen it used in, like...
You've never seen someone say, you go girl?
No, I've never seen, like, hugs girl. Have you?
What are you talking about? Like, it's just it's not like a catchphrase. It's not Amanda quoting something. It's just saying to Cat, hugs girl.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm criticising Amanda's tweet, where all she's trying to do is be, like, supportive to Cat. And
yeah.
That's...
I think you're being a bit of a dickhead.
That's not what I intended, but that's how it
No, he doesn't. He's just confused because he's a robot and doesn't understand why someone would be offering hugs to someone else.
I saw some livid at Amanda for this next statement, where she said, "It's been fun listening to the different takes on Solo, though I'm more inclined to agree with Jason's assessment personally." Oh, mate, if you can see the face I'm doing right now, Amanda. I'm going to let Ellie try and explain it.
Like a snooty butler.
Accurate. Amanda also asked, she said, "I'm so confused. How does drying off from the shower take 20 minutes? Like, my husband is a hairy dude and it only takes him a couple of minutes. Cat, is Liam doing this right?"
Amanda, let me point you to the bit in the episode where I think I sort of cracked it, where after I think it was probably about 15 minutes of diatribe of Liam trying to dry himself, I did point out that the reality is Liam probably isn't doing it right. I think I described it as picture Liam just wafting a towel at himself, and we've probably hit the nail on the head. So whatever Liam's doing, Liam will think it's right, but it won't be Snooty Butler's back. It's just it's going to be something stupid that Liam isn't doing right. There is no way Liam is the hairiest man in the world, and we're not hearing all the other people complain about
here we
this.
go, because Kat responded saying, "Yes, but he is a sloth, so everything he does is very slow." And then she used a gift from Zootopia.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me. That, like, you're like, I'll just dry myself off, and then, like, slowly put a towel on yourself, and then, like, slowly rub it to the left, and then you're like, I'm just so hairy.
Jason responded saying, "Always figured Liam was slow and Kat said the slowest." I don't know how I feel about that ganging up on me. My favourite thing, though, is the fact that Amanda knows us so well that instead of just being like, is Liam doing something wrong? She's like, I'm going to go to Kat. As like the sanity here.
Yeah.
Like, Kat will know what's going on here. That's my favourite thing about that tweet. And then we had one final tweet from Amanda where she said that she enjoyed the Wolverine Origins discussion. Lee's take that it is the room of superhero movies is my favourite, though Jason's split personality theory was very convincing. Don't think I'll revisit it anytime soon, though. I look forward to the next time the Atlantic Screen Connection guys guest.
Yeah.
So do we.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. I much prefer episodes that we have guests on.
I know you do.
But I know that they're a nightmare to edit when they're 3 hours long.
Exactly.
Probably a nightmare
3
to
hours
listen
long,
to.
4 tracks.
We were going to try and get this one down to under an hour, or like an hour 10. That's not happened. That was housekeeping. We kept the house.
Yeah, there's no way we're having a short discussion about God of War.
Amanda, I'm sorry if it sounded like I was being mean when you said hugs, girl.
He wasn't. He just doesn't. He genuinely doesn't understand human emotion.
Yeah.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
I've really struggled to remember the name of the segment there.
God of War. We did God of War. We did it on the PlayStation 4. That rhymes.
We technically completed this a while ago.
I got, like, as regular listeners will know, I'm all about the trophies. I got a platinum trophy for this like a month ago.
Yeah, and I finished the game. I think I finished the game just after you and Dan.
Yeah.
And then I haven't gone back to it to do the extra stuff because I'm alright.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to. One of the things that I like about it is you can platinum the game without getting 100% on everything.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, so like when you look at the map, it kind of tells you what's remaining, and like one of the things that you don't really have to pay a lot of attention to is opening all of the chests, and that counts to that area being 100% complete. So you can. There's other stuff.
Fair enough.
Another thing that I like is there's a few secret things in it that also you don't really need to do.
Speaking of secret things, listeners, if you're planning to play God of War and don't want it spoiled, we are going to spoil it. So go play it and then listen to us. Or if you don't care, just listen to us.
I don't really remember what happened in it, so I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, don't worry, I'm going to spoil it.
Atreus was a dick. I remember that. I didn't like him.
Atreus?
You and Dan liked him. I didn't like him.
You don't like kids?
I don't like kids. That's shit. No, that's not true. I like some kids. Like the Stranger Things
kids. You like very
kids.
few kids.
Yeah. I like the kids that, are talented. Atreus was a little shit.
Atreus.
He was a little shit, though. The thing is,
so he becomes a little shit towards the end of the story, specifically where he becomes a real shit.
That's the thing.
At the beginning, he is kind of sweet and just wants his dad to love him.
No, because I was like, this kid's a dickhead throughout a lot of it, and you and Dan were like, oh no, he's alright, and then he actually does become a proper dickhead. I was like, what I've been saying.
But then he resolves it and ends the story with him not being a dickhead.
I don't like him.
Basically, listeners, this is so me and Liam haven't played any of the old God of War games.
No, I haven't played.
You've not played any. No,
I have the third one, the remastered version. I haven't played.
I think I played the third one on a friend's old console when it first came out.
Yeah.
But never played the story. It was just us running around fighting things.
Yeah.
So from what I know of the story, it started in Greek mythology. You're playing as Kratos, who his family get murdered by the gods. It turns out somehow that Zeus is his dad. He gets pissed off at all the gods, and then he goes around killing all the Greek gods. Then I think there's been a number of spin-off games where he goes to Egypt and kills all the Egyptian gods, and then he goes to some other mythologies and just murders their gods.
Yeah.
So this time they go to Norse mythology.
Yes.
And for once, Kratos isn't hellbent on killing the gods.
He's mourning.
He's sad
because his wife is dead.
His wife has died. You start the game with a dead wife.
Do you know if that happens in a previous game or?
I don't think so.
Okay, so yeah.
As far as I'm aware, this is all I think there's meant to have been since the last game. There's meant to have been a time gap.
Yeah.
Are you playing a game on your phone?
No, I was going through my emails and just realised that I haven't done an email that I was meant to respond to earlier.
Well, that's fine. Do it after we record. Put your phone away.
You're boring me.
We're talking about God of War.
Yeah, I know, and I'm bored of it.
A game you liked.
I did like it.
Yeah. Stop being a little bitch.
No, you just didn't need my input for this bit. You're giving the synopsis. It's great. You're doing a really good job.
Yourself. Thanks, buddy. Kratos tries to help his son learn to be a real man, but sort of not really because they're gods. Doesn't tell his son that he's a god.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the kid is kind of all right at the beginning, while he's just like, we're gonna go take my mum's ashes up a mountain.
I still found the kid annoying. I can't remember exactly why I found him annoying at the beginning.
Yeah,
but I think it's because he's a bit of a whiny little shit.
Towards the beginning, he does just sort of. I think the whole thing though is from the way they talk. I think it's meant to be that Kratos hasn't been around.
Yeah, that, and he's sort of been raised by his mum, and then this guy comes in.
He's rocked back up in this kid's life and been like, "Hey, sorry, your mum's dead."
Yeah. The thing is, they were very, very obviously trying to not replicate, but emulate maybe They were trying to tap into the relationship that made The Last of Us so good.
I knew
No,
you
they
were gonna say
were.
this.
They
This is
were.
such a
They were.
bullshit
That's what they were
argument.
trying to do.
No, it isn't.
That's what
No.
they were trying to do.
No,
that's
that's
what
such
they
a
were trying
load
to
of
do.
wank.
If you read probably any interview with any of the like story writers or whatever, they'll probably reference Last of Us as being a sort of like touching point of what they wanted.
Yeah, but
they fell short.
You can't just write off a game because it's got an element that's similar. Like, it's so different to The Last of Us.
No, right. The game
In The Last of Us, you don't play as a Greek god throwing a frost axe at fucking zombies with your son shooting lightning bolts out of his bow.
The gameplay is different, but what they were
The
trying
characters are
to
different.
replicate was that
The story's
core,
different.
like,
But no, yeah, you're right. It's The
emotional
Last of Us.
thread, that core emotional thread, that relationship. They were trying to get you on board with that relationship, and it just didn't work for me. Not because it wasn't The Last of Us, but because I didn't like the kid.
It's
That's
100% because it wasn't The Last of Us. Liam cannot forget The Last of Us. He's such a little bummer for that
great
game.
But I mean, you've never completed it.
Wouldn't know.
Exactly. But yeah, like, it's a, what's the word? It's a worthy sort of experience to try and tap into. I just don't think that they succeeded with what they were trying to do with the relationship. I like the story stuff. I personally didn't need the kid there.
Well, I mean, if you don't have the kid there, even if... So let's take away the relationship part of the story. If you don't have the kid there, there is nothing tying Kratos into Norse mythology, so the whole thing falls apart.
Why can't he just have to go and, like, scatter the ashes?
But because then it wouldn't matter. Like, the only reason the Norse gods are trying to stop him is because there's a giant child still in the world trying to reopen the way to Jotunheim.
So why don't they just do something different?
You know that's my least favourite argument of yours, when you just go, why isn't it just different though?
Yeah,
just
exactly.
do it different.
Yeah,
I hate that argument because it's such a bullshit cop out.
No, I didn't like the relationship.
I think it's a really cool way that they've tied. Like, my favourite thing about the story in this game is that they took Norse mythology and they kept like some core elements there.
Yeah.
And then wove Kratos through it.
Yeah.
By making the kid Loki.
No, that was stupid.
No. It's good in that it's not a bullshit, like... So they haven't gone for the, like, straight up... Because it would have been bullshit if, like... Because when I realised he was Loki, because I saw it online, it was spoiled on something, and I was like, fuck, I'm just going to ignore it and pretend I don't know.
Yeah.
But I knew he was Loki.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to pretend it wasn't. But I was expecting there to be a twist at the end where it was like, I'm not really your son. I'm the trickster god. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
So I like that it didn't do the cliche Loki, where it's just like the trickster god being a little prankster, and instead this kid is like a normal god. The fact that they take these Norse mythology and then twist it just enough that you can see it's still the Norse mythology, but following like the rules of this world. Yeah. Like the fact that Odin and Thor and Balder are dicks. Like that's interesting. I like when they do that with. I think it's a really interesting take on Norse mythology.
I liked the dude with the head. Who was him?
Mimir.
Mimir. He was brilliant. He was great.
Yeah, Mimir's great.
Yeah, he was good. Right. Fuck the kid. Get rid of him. Gone. Just have Kratos and Mimir rocking around.
Yes, but why?
To scatter the ashes.
But then why would the gods give a shit?
Because they're like, oh, Kratos is naughty. Let's kill him.
No. It's a pile of wank. You're a pile of wank. There is one issue I have with the story.
Okay.
Early on, there is a scene, and this has stuck with me the entire time I played the game.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting to talk about it here. Because it's just a weird discrepancy that either I don't get what they were trying to do with it.
Okay.
Or it's just like a slip up.
Yeah.
And fair enough. But towards the beginning, Atreus is talking about how his mum has taught him all this mythology.
Yeah. And
really early on, Kratos is they're talking about the giants in Jotunheim, and Kratos is like, "Oh, giants! I've beaten giants." And then Atreus is like, "Oh no, they're not actually giant. That's what the species is called. You're thinking of too literally."
Yeah.
And then at the end, when you get to Jotunheim and you look out at the landscape, it is giant corpses all around. And I was like, so after telling me that the giants weren't giant, you are now showing me all of the dead giants.
Yeah.
Which is just a weird... It was just a weird, like... It's fine, because in Norse mythology, the giants, like, could shrink and grow was their thing.
Okay.
So, like, that makes sense. You don't need to have a scene where Atreus is very specifically like, they're not giants.
Yeah.
It was just a weird thing.
I didn't really pick up on it, but like
it's such a minor thing. I just picked up on it because I was then like, oh, cool, they're doing like
Yeah.
the giants are actually normal-sized people. And then at the end I was like, why am I seeing all these giant bodies?
Because like, I didn't hate the story. I don't want it to come across like I hated the story. I just hated the core emotional relationship that they tried to get you to buy into. But the actual story itself was fine. I really liked... you're going to have to help me up with the name. The guy that did the voice of Kratos.
It is...
From Stargate?
Christopher Judge?
Stargate?
Yeah, Christopher Judge. Stargate SG-1.
Yeah. Really liked him. Kat got really annoyed because after age I would go around being like, boy! And
it's one of the best things about the game.
yeah, it really is. Kat didn't like it. Yeah. And my favourite quote, which I said to Kat once and she nearly bit my head off, was... this is such a good quote from the game, though. It's don't be sorry, be better.
Yes, yeah.
That's a great quote. Don't say it to your other half. Is my advice.
I can imagine Kat not being happy with you saying that to her.
No, because she did something. She went sorry, and I was just like, "Don't be sorry, be better." And she was not.
What about Freya? What's your thoughts on?
Yeah, I like that.
Freya?
I didn't see the twist coming necessarily.
No.
Um,
One of the things was I didn't, because I know, like, I'm a bit of a mythology fan, and I deliberately didn't go and look up any Norse mythology while I was playing it, because I was like, there are going to be things that ruin elements of the game story.
yeah.
Because, like, even though it is different, stuff like Balder being killed by Loki with a sprig of mistletoe, that is Norse mythology.
Yeah.
It's just slightly different to the way they do it in the game. So I was, like, deliberately avoiding stuff like Freya and Balder, which is the actual story. Like, Freya makes Balder invincible. In the actual story, he's pretty cool with it, because he's like, I can't be killed. And I did like the take on this, where he's just like, no, I hate you all. I can't feel anything.
Yeah, he says that a lot, doesn't he? It's like,
he's very angry.
Feel anything.
Yeah.
I like
who played him? Because it was someone I know who. Jeremy Davies. I know him from something.
Is that the guy from plays Gimli and Lord of the Rings? No, that's Jonathan. Never mind.
Is it? Does he play Merry? No, not Merry. No. It's no. Who is it? I know him because I remember when I saw the face, because they clearly face capped him.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I know who this is.
Well, what's the name?
Jeremy Davies.
I don't know who that is.
I'm just waiting for my internet to connect. Or not. Fuck it, internet. Why would you?
The guy that's in Saving Private Ryan. Yeah. Oh yeah, it does look like him. He's in Saving Private Ryan. He's in Twister. He's in American Gods. He's in Twin Peaks. Apparently he's in Hannibal. He's in Lost.
I've seen him around on stuff. Yeah, that's it. Lost. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I liked him as like the antagonist. I thought it was a cool idea. I really enjoyed the gameplay to this.
The gameplay's really good.
For the most, a couple of the puzzles I found a bit annoying, but there was nothing that was ever like, oh, I'm stuck and I don't know what to do now. It was always, you could do it, but there's maybe bits where like I had to backtrack a bit further than I really wanted to do something.
Early on when I was trying to get all the rune, when you go into, so you can go into areas where there are these little runes scattered around, and if you get 3, you unlock part of an item that increases your health. So I was like, well, I should get them because that's useful. There were a couple of those where I spent like 15 minutes in one area looking for the last sigil, and I was like,
that's annoying.
I don't know what the fuck I'm meant to be doing.
There's
and then it would be somewhere stupid, and I was like, that feels a bit cheaty. So it's not a puzzle, it's just hidden.
Did you ever do the like, they're not like secret areas, but the areas that you have to unlock? There's one that's all fiery.
The two other realms.
Where you get like the best armor.
Niflheim. And
something else.
Muspelheim or Muskard or something.
Or
I tried both of them so that I would be able to talk about them a little bit. But like I did the first part of the fire one, and I did the first bit of the poison one.
I did him because there was trophies related to him. The fire one, the way that works is like you have like waves of enemies that you have to beat, and there'd be different like conditions. So it might be like do it without getting hurt is one, or do it in this time limit. I found that more annoying than the poison one, which was quite fun in the end, where this poison like slowly drains your health, but as you progress in the area and progress with unlocking the armor and stuff, you also get like poison resistance. So you can stay in the area longer and get better armor, and it sort of cycles quite nicely. Not cycles, what's the word? Snowballs. whatever. I loved the combat. I thought the combat was amazing. My favourite thing was throwing an axe and then recalling it and getting it to hit enemies on the way back to me. It was just so much fun. Like, it was pretty much the first thing I did, and I was like, I wonder if I'll ever get bored of this. Didn't. Just loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah, no, the axes. I liked the Chaos Blades when you get them.
Yeah, but the axe is better.
I used them for a little bit and then was like, but the axe is more fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, my favourite thing to do was to throw it into a wall.
Yeah.
And then wander around the level for a while and then eventually call it back and be like, this is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, combat was really good. The graphics were great. Can't really complain with them. Had no issues with that. It was just a fun game. Like, while I was just annoyed by, one of the main characters, I still had a real good time playing the game. And I had no issues with getting the trophies. Like, it took a bit longer to get all the trophies than just completing the game. Like, if you were to be like, right, from the point where you're at now, where you've completed the main story, if you then wanted to go off and get the trophies, you're probably looking at like another 5 to 10 hours, I reckon.
Yeah.
But that I don't think is like an unreasonable demand on top of just getting the story done to then go and do a load of extra stuff, I think.
No, yeah, for people that give a shit about trophies.
Yeah, it's quite nice. The only thing I will say is I was maybe expecting the game to be a little bit bigger. When you look at how big, like, what turns out to be the main area is, because you're then told that main area essentially is you visit it through different realms, but all of the other realms that you visit is a real like condensed amount of exploration. The only
one that feels it's not as big, but that feels on a similar sort of scale is the Light Elf world.
Yeah,
because you're in there for quite a while, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, cool. So like every world's going to be like this. Also annoying that a bunch of the realms are locked off.
Yeah, that was weird.
Which makes sense, like, story-wise, but the way it was described in-game made it sound like you would be getting to go to them.
Yeah, and it made... I thought, is that going to be DLC? And then I read somewhere with the developers that they weren't intending on doing DLC for this game.
No, but the fact that there is probably going to be another one, based on how the story ends,
and also
makes me
how
think,
well it's sold.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's, the next game will probably have all those realms in it.
Yeah, maybe.
And assumedly, you beating the shit out of Odin.
Yeah, makes sense. Finding the ravens was annoying.
Yeah, understandably. But here's the thing,
wasn't something you had
I'm
to
gonna have no sympathy for you on these bits because
it wasn't something you had to do. But
no.
I mean, it does help you with the game. It does help you unlock something, doesn't it? Helps with your...
Nope.
It helps that Odin stops spying on you.
Oh yes, the core part of the game that has no impact on gameplay.
There you go then. I enjoyed it.
It's really good. I love some of the designs for like some of the other realms, like the realm Hell.
Yeah.
Which is HEL, like that giant bird in the background. Just always sitting there. I think that's such a cool design.
And the giant serpent as well was cool.
Yeah, Jormungandr.
Something like that.
Jormungandr, yeah. And the way they do his giant speech.
Yeah, that, and also the way that, like, at the main area, you unlock more of it as you progress through the game, as the serpent moves and the water level is lower.
Yes, yeah.
That was cool. He
feels big as well.
Yeah,
like,
he does.
That's one of the things this game does really well. Like when you fight the dead giant at the end.
Yeah.
Like that feels big.
What did you think of the boss fights?
I think they're fun. The only one that gave me any difficulty was the boulder fights.
Yeah.
Everything else was like the dragon. I thought was going to be the dragon that you fight as a boss. I was like, oh, this is going to be real difficult.
Yeah.
And it was pretty not gimmicky, but like it's given you a method of. It's pretty obvious what you got to do.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who else you fight. The two sons of Thor.
Yeah, that was
an interesting fight, but it's not a difficult fight. It's mainly Baldur. Like it's the first fight you have with Baldur where the game sort of is like, this is going to be tough, and then you actually spend most of the game being like, oh no, it's not.
To be fair, I wasn't playing it on a hardest difficulty.
No, neither was I. I think I was on normal.
Yeah, same. So, and that's another thing. There were no trophies related to difficulty. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
But it doesn't force you to replay the game, which I think is...
Yeah, but I don't mind if it's like, if you do it on the hardest, it unlocks all of the other ones. That's why I tend to play games on the hardest settings, if they have that like stack.
But I think that's good that it
doesn't force you to do something like that.
Yeah, because if you don't enjoy playing it on hard, for someone like you, it would be bullshit if it was a ridiculously hard game and you were like, I can't get that trophy because it's just so difficult.
Yeah.
So, like, to me it makes sense, but then I couldn't give a shit about the trophies.
Yeah. But yeah, I just liked it. I think probably one of the more fun, like, action RPG type games, although the RPG elements are minimal.
Yeah, it's literally just the unlocking new skills, and that's it.
There's one thing we haven't talked about yet.
Go on.
How awesome Sindri is. I can't remember what his brother's called. What's his brother's name? Brock. Sindri is so much better than Brock.
No, Brock is so much better than Sindri. No.
Utter bullshit. Utter
incorrect.
Chatting out of your arse.
Incorrect.
Just torrent of shit.
You're just full
spewing forth from your
of
mouth.
Shit.
I didn't realise your eyes were brown.
They're not, so what a silly thing for you to say.
Cat's ours, though, and she hates it when I'm like, your eyes are brown because you're so full of shit.
Jesus. Sindri's fine. I like
Sindri's
both the
awesome.
dwarves. I like both the dwarves. I just prefer Brock.
Brock's this, like, uncouth, like, gruff, like, sweary dwarf, and Sindri's this, like, beautiful princess of a dwarf.
Sindri's a weaponsmith who can't touch weapons without nearly throwing up.
He's brilliant.
I do love, one of my favourite things about the dwarves is the like sort of running gag of them being like these super magical creatures that just no one, like the fact that they turn up everywhere.
Oh yeah, because they can,
and
like,
you're
teleport.
Like, and Kratos is like, no, you said you can't, you said no one can get here, and they're like, yeah, but we can.
Yeah.
And he's like, how? And they're like, we just like walk through stuff.
Yeah.
And we're here. And
They
no
like
one
step
understands
through
them.
realms in a way, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fucking they have that, there's like a competition running throughout the game between the two brothers before they come back together.
Yeah, they're trying
where
to, like,
every time you meet one they upgrade your axe.
Yeah.
And the way they do it is they pick up your axe, the camera sort of stays on Kratos, and then they just immediately give you the axe back. Or they hit it once with a hammer and give it back to you, and you're like, what? This is ridiculous.
But yeah, Sindri is amazing. I don't really have any other thoughts on it.
I just think it's genuinely, if people are interested in Norse mythology, it's a really cool take on something that is already a really interesting subject. Like, Norse mythology is awesome, and looking at this spin on it, it's definitely not like accurate. Like, you couldn't make it through a Norse mythology class based on playing God of War, but it sticks pretty close to the material and then does its own take on it, and I think it's awesome.
I don't know a lot about Norse mythology.
After finishing the game, I went and listened to a podcast called Myths and Legends and downloaded all of the Norse mythology episodes because this game rekindled my love for Norse mythology. It's pretty cool.
Out of 5?
I think I give it like a 4, probably.
I would agree with that.
Like, it's not the best game I've ever played, but
it's
I
fun.
loved it.
It was fun.
Finished it. And
the other thing, it wasn't like The Witcher 3, where it really outstayed its welcome. I felt like it was a good length.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, solid 4. Next time on Nerd or Nerd, we are doing a graphic novel because we realised we haven't done one of those in a while.
Nope, been quite a while.
Ages. We're going to do a superhero-y graphic novel because it's been even longer since we've done one of those. I think we've only ever done one in the past.
Yeah. We must have done a Marvel one at some point, right?
I don't think we have.
Well, we're doing our first Marvel one, and we're going for a weird character, so...
We're going for Spider-Gwen, Volume 0, Most Wanted?
It has a question mark, so Liam's reading it as a question. I've read a bunch of these before. I don't know if Volume 0 will cover everything I've read, but I'm excited. Spider-Gwen is my favourite of the Spidey characters.
I know nothing about Spider-Gwen. Nothing.
You're going to hate her, I think, but we'll see.
Alright then. Is she like you?
What does that mean?
How can people get in contact?
You can tweet us at nerdornerd. You can email us at nerdornerdpod@gmail.com. You can Facebook us at facebook.com/nerdornerdpod, all one word. You can review us on iTunes. Go search us on iTunes, we're there, and then give us a 5-star. And you can comment on our YouTube, although you'll be commenting on super out-of-date videos that aren't relevant anymore because Liam refuses to change my name. So they're all a completely outdated person who doesn't like that name, but they're still there.
Yes. It's great. We'll catch up though. It won't take long.
It's going to take like a year. Anyway.
It is. But
Liam!
You can find the Superman stuff there.
That's true. You go listen to the Superman stuff. Also, Liam.
Yeah.
How's your DVD tally going?
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had all those problems with your Blu-ray player, so I assume you've not done much.
What was it last time?
Liam, your last number was 1,101.
Okay. Cool.
What is it now?
It is 1,101.
So that's the last 3 times we've checked the number, Liam. It hasn't changed.
Which just means that I'm watching as I'm buying, which is a good position to be in.
Except your goal is to get down to 1,091. So all you need to do is watch 10 films, Liam, without buying 10 more, and you haven't been able to do it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Another Blu-ray player's back. Everything's changed. This is a new... the problem is I'm currently playing a lot of PlayStation. Like I've got really into Bloodborne, so that's taken up a lot of time. But I think I'm maybe not on the next episode because I've got stuff arriving. But maybe before like the end of the year, I reckon I can do this.
Well, yeah, that's your goal. I mean, don't say that's not filling me with confidence because that is your goal. So it's when you're like, maybe I can do it. That's not like super endorsement.
I think I can maybe do this. Cat's whinging at me
to get rid of the pile.
Yeah, she doesn't want to move with this many DVDs.
Yeah, understandably.
It doesn't really concern her.
Jesus. Any final thoughts?
If I was a god, I wouldn't want it to be of war. I'd want it to be of love.
Boy.
Bye.